It's hair cutting day today, so I thought I would take you along with me as I cut all 4 of our boys' hairs. This is something that I started doing maybe 6 years ago now. It has saved us so much time of having to go to a barber or salon. I'm sure it saved us a ton of money. I don't know how much haircuts cost these days. I know how much my husband has paid for his haircuts. I don't know if that is the same for little boys too, but I love doing this. I just kind of learned as I went, and so I thought I would show you the process that we use. It's not like professional by any means. It's just a mama haircut, giving my boys just a very classic comb over boys haircut. So I hope you find this video helpful. Okay, so here's our setup outside. We're just out here. I've got my chair and a little cover to try to keep the hair off of the boys. And then over here on our Blackstone, I have our clippers with our different, these are the only 2 that we use, but it comes in like a pack. And I can link this all for you so you know exactly what we use. These are beard trimmers of Chris's. There's also this detail trimmer on our trimmer guy. I've never used that because I like the way that this works. A bottle of water for spraying, scissors, and comb. So very basic and easy. And so let me show you the process. One thing that I like to do is have an activity for the boys to do. So our boys are out just being boys, playing, and I'll just call one of them over at a time to get their hair cut. They'll have a good incentive to sit still because the quicker that it's done, then the sooner they can get back to playing. So when I'm having our boys sit in the chair, I have them sit sideways so that I'm not having to reach over the back of the chair to get to their hairs. So then here I have the clippers. I think I have, this is a number 4. I don't even know what it's called. Little clipper cover thing. It says, so there's different sizes of, see that little like black comb thing on the clippers? There's different sizes of those, and I have no idea what it's called. Like I said, this is not professional by any means. I'm just a mama cutting my boys' hairs. So this is a number 4. If you get this set that I use, then it'll just have a number 4 on it. I like the length of this one, so I will do all around my boy's head, kind of like a bowl cut with these clippers, just going up and out, as you can see, and I just kind of stop um, midway up the back of their head, and then I'll go over on each side as well. I like doing this outside because then there is little to no cleanup of any kind. The wind just takes care of the hairs. We obviously do it inside often too because we live in the Pacific Northwest where we get a decent amount of rain. But this was a lovely sunny day, and so I decided we're going to knock out some boys' haircuts outside while we can. So then here I have put on the number 3 clipper thingy, and I'm just going down and shortening the very bottom of their hairs. So just around like the edges, if that makes sense. You can kind of see I'm just doing the edges of all of their hair there with a number 3 so that it's a little bit shorter. It creates a little bit more of what would be called probably like a fade kind of effect. Then what I do is take the beard trimmers and straighten out all of the edges. So make a nice straight line along his neck there. I have him put his head down to start, and then I'll have him put his head up too, just to make sure that when he is sitting normally that the line lines up correctly, if that makes sense. And then I'll just go same thing along the sides, just creating a straight line, and then I go around his ears too. With these beard trimmers, they cut pretty close, and so you just want to be careful when going around the ears that they are being very still. I, as you can see, fold his ear down, and then you can tell by his face that this is not his favorite part because he has gotten nicked a couple of times in the past. But I don't know. That's just part of mama doing the boys' hairs, and they are totally okay. Obviously, the goal is to not do that, but uh, just know that it could happen and try to help them recover as quickly as possible. And then as you can see, my little guy is trying to cut his own hair in the background, which is part of cutting hairs at home is they think that they can do it themselves. And especially because I cut my own hair at home too. I have a video sharing that if you've seen. So they think they can just go ahead and do that too. Uh, but I try to limit access to scissors as much as possible. Obviously, I was focused on getting this little guy's haircut that the other little dude in the background just kind of helped himself. So now I do scissors and comb and water. So I spray their hair down with a bunch of water so that it's nice and wet. One thing, you don't want to do the electric clippers with wet hair. So that's why I always start dry to do the bottom part. And then you can kind of see where I stopped with the trimmers, the clippers. And that's going to be where I lined things up with the comb and scissors. So what I do here is I just grab some hair and I use my fingers to kind of measure, blending it in with the cut hair at the bottom, and I just blend it all the way up. This this part takes a little bit of practice, but with having four boys, I get plenty of practice in, so I feel pretty confident in it now. In the beginning, when I was just cutting our oldest's hair, it didn't always come out as evenly as it does now, but that's the thing. You just learn as you go. Just give it a try. I think the younger that you can start, the better. But if your kiddos are older too, if they're willing to let you give it a go, then I would say it's worth giving it a try. So I just go all the way around the base of their head, just combing and measuring so that my fingers are basically how long the hair is going to stay, and anything beyond my fingers gets clipped off. Um, I'll do the sides as well. And then the top is a little bit different how I go about that. So I'll show you that in a minute. But I try to get the top out of the way so that I can get the sides nice and even on each side. And then we kind of blend the top into the sides. And what I'll do, so I'll do fingers down towards the bottom to get started, but then I'll bring them up too and kind of blend it in going upward too so that everything is blended nice and well. And the nice thing too about doing at-home haircuts is that if you see something that doesn't work quite right, this happens probably most often, that I'll see, oh, I missed a spot, or oh, I kind of like just lopped it off right there. I'll just come back with the scissors and water bottle and just fix it really quickly. So it's not a big deal, easily fixable if something just isn't quite looking right, laying correctly once they're out of the chair or whatever. So here what I'm doing is I'm just measuring maybe 1 or 2 inches straight down the middle of his head and then combing to the sides everything else. And then I am going to cut straight back this section. So I started at the front, cut it, and then I comb again, measure, cut it, comb again. So I'm working my way to the back of his head as I'm combing, measuring, cutting. So I start at the front, and that gives me my um, like the base of where I'm going to be cutting. And then I just use that as a guide for the rest of the way. Then I go to the side and I'll comb some of the hair from the middle along with the side hair. And see how I'm just cutting it at a slant there so that it's not just a straight cut, but that it blends really well when it's being combed to the side or when he's just running around not having combed his hair. It's all even. So I'll go to the other side and do that as well. Just go section by section, taking some of the middle that I've already cut and then blending it in with the sides. And I'm just, again, section by section, moving my way to the back of the head. As you get closer to the back, you can start going a little bit longer so that it's not too super short. And then I comb it to the side and see how it's looking. This little guy has the most hair out of all of our boys. So it takes a little more combing to get it to where I need it to be. But I just make sure that everything's blending good. Go down to the side and I'll just do a little bit more blending based on how everything's looking from the top cut that I just did. And I'm just making sure everything looks good. As you comb and as the hair dries, you can kind of see, oh, we need a little bit more blending here or a little bit more blending there. But I love this classic combed over little boy haircut. It's my favorite. I feel like they just look very handsome. And there you have it. Just a very classic boy's haircut. If this video was helpful for you, feel free to share it and subscribe. I try to put out a new video every week on motherhood and homemaking.